10-year-old girl from Guizhou goes viral for her Qinggong skills. Chinese social media is flooded with cries of lament as youth unemployment reaches 50%. Recently, a video of a 10-year-old girl from Guizhou practicing Qinggong skills went viral online, surprising many netizens. According to a report by mainland media on the 10th, a 10-year-old girl from Guizhou recently showcased amazing kung fu skills. Whether stepping on a paper box, walking on a basin, doing splits, or performing somersaults, her series of smooth movements amazed netizens. Many netizens praised her, saying, "This is all possible. I'm afraid it's the reincarnation of Xi'an. Du Xinwu practiced Qinggong like this back then. Sure enough, there are masters in the world, and when she grows up, she may become a master of her generation." Some netizens also laughed and said, "It's hard to explain to foreigners." According to the girl's father, she watched videos and practiced martial arts at home when she was 6 years old. At 8 years old, a teacher noticed her talent and her ability to endure hardships, so he came to her home to teach her Qinggong skills for free. "I am very happy that my daughter has this hobby. She practices it on Saturdays, Sundays, during winter vacations and summer vacations, and it does not interfere with her homework." It is understood that Qinggong is a genuine practice in traditional Chinese martial arts. Practicing Qinggong does not make you lighter, but it can greatly improve your ability to run, jump, and dodge, allowing you to stand or move on non-load-bearing objects and even use inner energy to rise into the air. Public information shows that Qinggong is similar in form to the high jump and long jump in modern sports, though different in essence. In the modern high jump and long jump, athletes must first run to build momentum, jump vigorously, rise and fall sharply, and land heavily, like a falling stone. Qinggong does not require running to build momentum. You only need to push off with your feet to rise high and jump far. It rises like a swallow flying through the sky and falls like a dragonfly touching the water. It makes no sound when landing, touching tiles silently. The biggest characteristics of Qinggong are lightness and stability. The Northern history once recorded that the rope on the flagpole of the Qinggong temple broke, and a man named Qinggong held the rope in his mouth, slapped the pole, and climbed to the dragon head. After that, he descended through the air, used his palm to stabilize himself, and walked backward for more than 10 steps. People of that time called him the Flying Fairy of Flesh. In 2018, a video circulated on the internet showing a man with a shaved head stepping directly onto a water surface with almost no running start. Although there was a thin and long wooden bridge, it was actually just a few wooden boards floating on the water, and the man walked across the entire water surface, covering a distance of about 125 meters. According to reports, this was an event that happened in mainland China in October 2014. The martial monks of the Shaolin Temple in Guizhou, Fujian Province, used a reservoir in Guizhou City to perform kung fu, attracting a large audience. The monk said that his previous record was 100 meters. To master this skill, he ran with weights every day, and long-term training made his steps light. Additionally, he practiced qi through meditation and other methods, saying, "This is very important." In fact, there were many records of martial arts masters performing light skills in China in the 1920s and 1930s, the most famous being Sun Lutang. Sun Lutang's original name was Sun Fuquan, 1860 to 1933, with the courtesy name Lutang and later the name Hanzhai. He was born in Renjiatuan Village, Wan County, Hebei Province, now Guangdong County. Sun Lutang was a master of Xingyiquan, Baguazhang, and Tai Chi, the founder of Sun's Tai Chi, and was famous for his martial arts skills. He was known as the Tiger Head Guardian and was considered the best in the world. According to an excerpt from the Social Daily in 1930, Although Sun Lutang was from Hebei, his reputation in the martial arts world was admired throughout the country. His kung fu included not only Xingyi, Tai Chi, and Bagua, but was also taught by several extraordinary individuals, one of whom was named Chen Letian. His most amazing ability was flying with Qi, and Chen Letian passed this skill to Sun Lutang. The Central Guizhou Museum's Guizhou Weekly and Guizhou Celebrity Directory both recorded that Sun Lutang was able to make great strides, talk about the void, and achieve it with ease. So he became famous in Yanzhou, and everyone knew Sun Lu, the living monkey. According to the Tianjin Literature and History Data Collection and Wudong Magazine No. 9 in 1995, Sun Lutang's lightness skills were comparable to those of a fine horse. Sun Lutang could even hang paintings on walls. Even more impressive was his ability to walk on snow without leaving a trace. Chinese social media is flooded with cries of lament as youth unemployment reaches 50%. I may not be able to survive because I just lost my job and completed the resignation procedures. Today is my last day of work. People say that 2024 will be difficult, with many large companies laying off employees, but I didn't expect to be laid off myself. In the morning, I went to work happily. But in the afternoon, the boss urgently called everyone to a meeting and announced that the work would end today. This woman said that everyone is discussing what to do next. It is difficult to find a job outside. A female colleague just gave birth to her second child. Everyone is saying that finding a job is challenging in their own way. Thinking of her fixed monthly expenses, mortgage, water and electricity, food, drink, necessities, and credit card installment payments. The sudden unemployment really caught people off guard. Today is the 35th day of my unemployment. I thought I could quickly find a job after being laid off, but reality dealt me a blow. I don't have much money on hand, and my lease is about to expire. So I want to secure my next job quickly. This month, I've attended many interviews across various roles, and my expectations are constantly declining. The longest journey I took was 50 kilometers across the entire city. To save money, I bring my own water and buy bread to get by. But there are simply too many unemployed people now. Today is my first day of job hunting after being fired. When I left the house in the morning, I took a few deep breaths to cheer myself up. I went to 3 companies, but the positions and pay were very poor. After a whole day, I gained nothing and felt very lost. Walking home alone, my feet felt like they were filled with lead, and every step felt heavy. College graduates who have just entered society are also facing the dilemma of graduation equals unemployment. It is said that the post-00s generation will transform the workplace, but in the end, they can't even enter it. Family, I can't find a job at all. I studied hard and became a 985 graduate student, but I still can't find a job. When I was young, I thought I would be someone great when I grew up. Now I've grown up, but why do I feel completely useless? I am really going crazy. I went to college in vain. I studied for over 10 years for nothing, only to waste my parents' hard-earned money in my youth. What's the point of going to college? What's the point of earning a doctorate? I can't even find a job. I used to be like most people, thinking that studying hard and reading more would lead to a good job. But now, I went from having nothing to being penniless and lost. I don't even know where my future lies. It is understood that this year, there are as many as 11.7 million college graduates in China. Many people reveal that the actual employment rate for college students this year is about 50%, which is lower than last year. This first-tier city in China is finished. Desolate scene. The unemployed youth sleep on the streets. China's economy continues to decline severely, and the unemployment rate remains high. In first-tier cities such as Guangzhou and Shenzhen, the scene is desolate, gloomy, and sad, no longer showing the vitality of some of China's most magnificent cities. A large number of young people who are unemployed or without regular jobs are forced to sleep under bridges and struggle to survive because they have no money to pay rent. Videos show that a large number of unemployed young people are living under bridge tunnels in Guangdong. They have no fixed jobs and no money to pay rent. Sometimes they also live stream, dreaming that one day they can live a prosperous life, but most of the time, they can only survive by picking up rags. Under the square of Longhua bus station in Shenzhen, a large number of unemployed young people gather there every day and sleep in the open air. If outsiders come to take pictures, they are driven away or even beaten. In a park in Guangdong, several unemployed young people live in the park and sleep on park benches. However, several police officers drove them away and refused to allow them to live there. The young people's clothes are still hanging on the trees in the park. In Guizhou, Guangdong, a 20-year-old man who couldn't find a job spent the night sitting on an overpass. Some kind-hearted passers-by offered him a room to sleep in, but he refused. A netizen photographed a group of delivery boys sleeping on the streets at 6 o'clock in the morning under a bridge in Guangzhou. Some of them were sleeping on the ground, and some were setting up tents. It made people lament their hard life in big cities. One netizen said that she and her husband have been working in Shenzhen for 24 years. They got married and had children there. Recently, they both lost their jobs. Many relatives and friends persuaded them to go back to their hometown. She said in a video, "We don't even have a place to stay when we go back now, because the house in our hometown has been uninhabited for many years, and there is no room for us to live there. You want to farm, but there is no land to farm. You want to do business, but there is no capital." Another netizen said that she has been working in Shenzhen for nearly 10 years, but still has nothing. No car, no house. She said in a video, "I have been unemployed for 6 months. I will be 30 years old next month. Now I have no savings, no car, and no house. I came to Shenzhen in 2014. I was young and found a relatively easy clerical job, and then I worked until October last year. During this period, I changed companies, but I was always doing clerical work until I lost my job last year and couldn't find another one. It has been 6 months since October 9th last year, so for a girl like me who has no education and no skills, where is the way out?" In Dongguan, Guangdong, where China's processing industry is well developed, due to a serious lack of orders and insufficient working hours, many companies no longer recruit formal employees, but instead use temporary workers so that they do not have to pay 5 insurances and 1 fund for employees. The salary is even as low as 9 yuan per hour, while the minimum wage stipulated by Guangdong, Zhejiang, Jiangsu, and other provinces is 22 yuan per hour. A video circulating online shows a group of young people from Guizhou queuing up for a job in Dongguan. An agent shouted to the people in line, 9 yuan an hour, and the onlookers looked at him sideways. 9 yuan, 9 yuan an hour. If you can't accept it, take your luggage and leave. Qinggong, 29, has been unemployed for 6 months. She posted a video on Douyin saying that she felt like her life was over. She said in the video, "My life seems to be over. I have been unemployed for 6 months, and I seem to have lost myself. My body is becoming weaker and weaker. I just want to lie in bed and play with my phone or games every day. I have no interest in anything, and I am becoming less and less willing to go out. I don't know when the girl who loved to laugh and dress up disappeared. Now there is no light in my eyes. I haven't opened the cosmetics on this table for a long time. I don't know when I last put on makeup. The closet is full of beautiful clothes, but I don't seem to have the opportunity to wear them out. I am becoming more and more confused, anxious, and panicked. I don't know where my life should go." Last year, a college graduate in Hunan posted a video crying because she couldn't find a job after interviewing at more than 50 companies. She also mentioned that although her best friend found a job in Beijing, she was not working, but playing with her life. She said in the video, "I have interviewed at more than 50 companies since graduation. Some companies don't even pay any salary during the internship period, and you can't even be converted to a regular employee. My college best friend joined a famous film and television company in Beijing with a salary of 7,500 yuan. You may think that for a freshly graduated student, it is enough. But she rented a small house in Beijing that was only a dozen square meters, and the rent was more than 2,000 yuan.